All right, folks, we'll be getting started in just a minute or so. Just giving everybody some time to set up. Just gonna put in a test message there at the room. Make sure to join us there while you wait. The speakup.info. It's the web app that we will be chatting through, and just making sure everything's good to go. We'll get the disclaimer going. Alrighty, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Today is August 16th, 23. Hope everybody's having a good day or night, wherever you are. We'll be looking to review some trades we've taken on futures, as well as take some new ones today. Do a little bit of analysis, kind of a check-in on everybody that's following along, and kind of touch up on a topic that I think is probably the most important when it comes to trading, which is trading psychology, and a couple of things that I've been doing, for example, that I'd like to share with you that have been helping me a lot. So before we get too far along, I'm just gonna hide the the chat room option there. I am going to leave it on the top left there, so you can scan that. And let me just double check that that was, yeah, upper left side right there, the chat room key. I just realized the the number was not showing, but there it is right now at the top left over here. So you should be able to see this and be able to scan it. The chat room key is 17718. So when you do join, please just put in a test message to make sure everything's working, and we'll be going right now. So um, the usual procedure, let's call it, whenever we do these sessions, is to look at the trades we've taken before, do some analysis on it, at least review it, so that way we know everything that's been done in the past, whether they were winners or losers. It doesn't matter. What matters is that we documented them and we followed our strategy to the T. So just to kind of prevent the distraction from going along, of course, everybody saw the disclaimer. This is for educational and instructional purposes only. This is just a demonstration of a method of using the auto UFOs and auto climate product. Let's go ahead and get it started right now. So last time when we were trading was actually, there was no way, it was May? No. So okay, I think it must have been on my laptop. Okay, looks like Mark's there. Good. Welcome, Mark. Good to see you. I don't know if, so this is on my Google Drive, so this should have all my live screenshot. I'm missing a set of screenshots here from before. I'm not sure where they went. Oh, I know where they went. It's because we started uploading them on the web version of the screenshot tool. I myself, I use Lightshot. For those of you who don't know, when it comes to screenshotting, but also I do screen record, so that way it's just a little easier. Let me just pull up the gallery here, and here they are. Okay, I was like, I know we took some trades. Just a matter of finding them. All right, so the first one that we had from last time, and I'm just gonna pull this up the way it is on here. This was a long on the ES that I believe never filled, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a quick look. Okay, and that was for Bitcoin, so So that one I know didn't fill, and that was July 19, 23. And I believe this one was a stop loss. So we took a gold trade that ended up stopping out. Took it long, everything according to plan. Looks like no errors were made. We see everything lining up properly. For those of you that are with us, obviously you know this. For those of you that are not, this may look like a bunch of scribble scrabble. Don't worry, we're going to go through setting up a trade all at once. And I think this one was a time stop that yeah, see, that was a time stop that I think I just never ended up closing out. So that was on me. That was the trade on gold as well. All right. Um, that was it from the last session. I don't believe we took a whole bunch of trade because last time it was slow. Let's put it that way. Last time was slow. Um, Something that I've been wanting to basically to share and to let everybody know, which I think plays a huge role when it comes to trading, is developing the habits that get you in front of the computer. This is something that I've shared before when we had our YouTube session years ago with Jose when it came to building that confidence and building the habits to become a successful trader. Something that is, I mean, instrumental in my opinion, is having a strict, step-by-step procedure of what you're going to do from the moment you wake up. That is something that is, in my opinion, especially us as trader, being, precise, methodological, and following criteria and rules. It is, I would say, beyond any value of anything else, right? You could have the best system, you could have the most money in the world. If you don't have the discipline and the habits behind to carry that forward, it's a recipe for disaster. So something that it's just as simple as same way that we trade with needing permission to get in a trade. I essentially don't have permission to go downstairs in my office until I'm done working out upstairs. So from the moment I wake up, you go to the bathroom, you take care of business, and then I work out, and I don't do anything crazy. I just work out for half an hour, jump in the shower, and then I've already gotten my, 1 out of 10, let's say, things that I got to do that day, right? That mindset change, especially over the long period of time, where you're gonna have some bad days, you're gonna wake up, you're like, oh man, I don't feel like working out today. You still have to do it, especially on those days, just to prove to yourself that you have control over your thoughts and feelings and emotions is in itself a huge win and a huge boost to your psychology that again ties into trading. I mean, we can kid ourselves all we want, but if you don't have the right trading psychology, there's just no chance of winning when it comes to trading. All right. I just kind of wanted to share that little snippet of, and it was such a small little change. It's not like I reinvented the wheel. I just simply do not step a foot into my office until I've done my workout. It's very simple, very straightforward, I think. And you might say, well, I don't have a home office. Well, okay, before you leave for your job, you got to do your workout, right? Or whatever the case may be. Instead of looking for the excuse, find the opportunity. If that means waking up half an hour earlier, you wake up half an hour earlier. But that win in the morning is going to make all the difference in the world. Before you even sit down, before you even look at it, if you can pull it off, before you can even look at your phone, that's something I'm working on. But, obviously, it's not the easiest. Okay. So back to looking at the markets. For those of you who are veterans, this is kind of the same old for you. But something else that I think has been lacking in the past that I think should be mentioned is the there you go. Sorry, lost my tab here. If you want to avoid trading the wrong futures contract, you definitely should check out barchart.com, or you can go to tradewithufos.com/barchart. That looks something like this. So you simply pull up bar chart, you go to futures, and you go to most active futures. That gives you where the volume is on the latest contract. This is instrumental, especially during rollover, because certain platforms will auto roll you even if the volume's not there, which you don't want to do. You should be able to manually select what contract you're trading. And you definitely want to be on the most volume contract, because that's where you're going to have less chance of a slippage, less chance of a bad fill, whatever the case may be. All right, so just a quick little info snippet there for you. I usually open this tab just because I also like just to see like what happened, news overnight, so on and so forth. I think Barchart's done a fairly good job on kind of highlighting some of the news for the day as well. And of course, it's free, right? Can't be free. All right. So that's that. Just a quick little snippet that I wanted to share with you before we get started with trading. And now let's go ahead and dive into it. So what is all this fun stuff that's in front of us? Well, this is our flying saucers, right? That we see here. I'm trying to put an arrow. These flying saucers are the auto UFOs, or the unmistakably named unfilled orders, where we represent an imbalance, rather the software finds and represents an imbalance when it comes to that instrument. So for example, if we look at, we have a couple of different tabs here. We're currently looking at the Dow Jones. We're seeing that there's an unfilled order balance at these locations, right? What does that mean? That means we have a decent or fairly high probability, and you can determine that based on the percentages of that instrument and that time frame, to have an order here that might still have additional orders that are not filled, meaning other people who have placed their orders here have not been filled. The price has moved away from there. However, there may still be leftover orders, right? So for example, and what does that mean? For example, when I put in, sell limit here, right? That means I have a pending order. Now, of course, I can, spoof this order and just cancel, or I can say, hey, I want to, sell 20 contracts, right? Sure, right? That's still going to be considered as a pending order, but at the time of this price action, our proprietary and patented technology detected that in this location, based on the price movement that occurred in this area, right? There, and the way it moved also down, there's still additional odds that there will be a viable trade to go short there. Now, that's just pure auto UFOs, right? Let's say we just completely ignored our bottom left chart here with the auto climb, and let's say you were only trading auto UFOs. Well, you could say, okay, I'm gonna take a short here, and my stop's gonna be right above it. And then the same thing up here. I'm gonna take a short here, my stop's above it, right? Short here, stops above it. I think that's fairly straightforward for anybody who's even looking at this for the first time. Now, something that needs to be said and something that needs to be understood, right? I'm sure everybody here who started trading, or maybe is starting trading, or is trading for a long time, knows about herd mentality, right? Where the herd goes, kind of price tends to trample towards. It's not always the case. Sometimes price will surprise, and most volume will be to the short side, but price will be going up. There's multiple factors that go behind it, but bottom line, what I'm trying to get to is that we are looking at something very specific here, right? We're looking at the 377 volume, 233 tick in 2-minute time frames. None of these time frames are common. These are all uncommon time frames, right? These are all uncommon. This one down here, which, there's a lot of action going on there, but as you can see right here, it says 15 minutes. This is a common time frame, right? So what we try to do is merge these two together into our trading strategy. And one of our trading strategies, our current trading strategy that we're utilizing here, is looking at the 15-minute time frame, looking at its auto climate down here, determining which direction we're going to be going, whether we're going to be long or we're going to short, right? Depending on the color and the thickness of this dot. And then where we enter is actually also predetermined by an overlap, again, of a common indicator. All right, so this is a common indicator, if I can type that in, which this is the 9 EMA. Just forgot to mention that's the 9 EMA. So this 34,983 golden line, that's also represented here, here, and here, is our 9 EMA. Our 9 EMA is the one that we're currently following, and we're looking to find overlap between, again, looking to find overlap. That should be the key word here, between the common indicator, the 9 EMA, and our uncommon indicator, the auto UFOs. Let's do that. So uncommon indicator, right? And that's the auto UFOs. So, you're doing two overlaps. You're doing overlaps between time frames and you're doing overlaps between indicators. I feel like that is what needs to be highlighted the most, right? We have the patented technology. This is proprietary software. We have a license. I think, if I'm not mistaken, worldwide at this point. I think there's only a few countries where we don't. So this is a very real, very powerful software, but it's us and in our, folks in our group that see this, right? How we make sure that we're moving with the direction of the market, with the herd, so to speak, is by merging those uncommon indicators with a common indicator like the 9 EMA. Now, you don't have to necessarily use the 9 EMA, right? You could certainly even use, Bollinger Bands. I've experimented with a couple different. I've experimented with a 889, or was it 889 moving averages overlap. So whenever the the 89 moves over the 8, that's a signal to go long, right? When it goes short, that's a signal to go short. Then finding it into a UFO. You can certainly utilize and experiment in different ways. There's no rule set in stone of what you can use as a common indicator. You can certainly use different ones. All right. Of course, for the purpose of today's session, we're going to be utilizing the 9 EMA. That's what we've been using, and that's what's also been working. So let's go ahead and focus and see if we can find some trades. Looking at the ES, the first thing my eyes are always drawn to is right here, this little window, right? This chart right here, that's the 15-minute time frame. What I'm looking at is these dots here. I see that there are 5 thick red dots or ruby dots. And these ruby dots represent that there's a higher probability to go to the short side than it is to the long side. Now you may ask yourself, well, that's easy to say, obviously, right? It's a red dot. Well, but what about where we are in that current climate? Well, we have an additional information panel right here that tells us that we're currently on the 5th 15-minute increment. All right, we're on the 5th one out of typically 7. So this number 7 right here, that's what represents where this typically moves up and down to, right? The typical upward movement, that's not what I meant to do, but okay. The typical upward movement is 6 50-minute increments. Typical down is 7 50-minute increments. Currently, we're on the 5th downward increment, and we have about 8.5 minutes remaining before the market opens. Those of you that have been with me, you probably know what I'm about to say. I would love to be in a trade and already gotten T1 before the market opens. In my opinion, that's the best, because if you're right on the direction, then you're going to have a hard time just trail stopping the whole way up or down, whichever way your trade's moving. Or if you're wrong, you're almost immediately going to be getting stopped out. Yeah, Mark, I'm on the down. Yeah, and my charts, hey, crap. That's not good. All right. That's no big. Let me duplicate this tab. And I have to $6E and RTY. I think this was on the 244 tick, if I'm not mistaken. Mark, if you got the workspace, can you tell me if it was a 244 tick on this one? I don't think it was a 244. I can also look it up in my file here. It's funny how you can't do Control Z. Let's go find it here in my time frames. That's the equivalencies. We have RTY is on the 233 tick and 377 share. And we're good. All right. Always good to double check. All right. So, yeah. So we're good. So right now, looking at the Dow, we have 5 minutes to the market open where we might see some fun action. Currently, you could enter this trade all the way down here at the 34,963, right? That would be the more aggressive entry, which you are certainly welcome to do so. I myself, given how crazy market action is in the beginning, I would be tempted to enter right here at 34,987. I'm going to set my sell limit there. The reason, and of course, before we even get to setting that trade, I didn't say it, but I checked it. You always want to check what's in front of us on this common time frame. As we see from previous price action here, we don't have any green UFOs, right? So down here, we would need to have any green UFOs. Those would be our final targets, right? But as of right now, we see that we do not have any, and I apologize for my poor drawing here, but our T2 would be the opposing UFO. And in this scenario, since we're going short, our opposing UFO is the green UFO, which again, there's not one here. Okay. All right. I'm gonna email it to you, Mark. Sorry, I'm just looking at speak up here. I'm gonna email it to you so you have this workspace set up. Again, mine is a little bit different just because I was having issues with my computer before, but they've since been resolved. So one second. What I really like about this trade is if the market craziness pops up, is the fact that we actually have a UFO here and a UFO here, right? So that's the wonderful thing. Now, I'm gonna take a quick screenshot of this, and you know what? I'm gonna include my date there so we know. 2023 08 16. That's the YM 15-minute setup. Market's gonna open in 2-3 minutes. So that's pretty much it. Looking at the other now, another one that I have on my other screen here is this market analyzer that I kind of also get to see kind of a broad picture of where things are going. On everything here, I'm not sure why this says late 5 out of 2 because it's 5 out of 7, but I can fix that because I think it's a matter of counts. So we're just looking at where we are. So we see we're on the fifth one also down on the ES, fifth one on the NQ, fifth one on RTY. Crude oil is the 8 up, 10 down on gold, 13 down on the euro. It's not the greatest of odds for us to get filled on all of these. The ES might also be looking interesting. Let's take a look at the ES and see what we got going on the ES. Very similar picture of the Dow. Very, very, very similar picture as the Dow. And as you see, 5 out of typically 7 on the down climate. So almost exact picture. So if you were to trade this, you could trade it the same way as the Dow. Let's say you want to just use the ES, you're certainly welcome to do so. There's a very good chance we're going to see similar price movement. We may see a little bit overextended movement on one of these, but I'm keeping an eye on the clock right now, mainly because I just want to confirm that our climate is going to stay intact. I don't have a doubt in my mind that it will, but you never know. All right. So the ES pop in a little bit, and actually, if you did place your trade there, you would be in right now and already in profit. So yeah, because the trade would have been this UFO and the UFO that was here and the UFO that's here. So if you got in, you're already a little bit in the green, not a whole bunch. Definitely haven't gotten T1 yet. But let's go ahead and switch to our Dow and follow along on the trade that we are looking at to get in now. Okay. Looking to see a bit of an extended move up. 6 out of 6. Climate is intact. Trade is still a go. What we're expecting to happen is as price moves up, we're expecting this moving average to align with our entry. If it doesn't, our finger will be on the trigger here to make sure we cancel it. It looks like it will align pretty much perfectly. Came within a tick of entry, I think. Could be wrong. There we go, we're in. Just gotta adjust our stop here. 35.12 is the stop. Entry being at 34.897 minus 35.012, so 115. That's going to be plus 34.987. So we're at 34.872 is our T1. 34.872. I think it's on. Okay, well, it looks like it's pushing up. Might be a stop out. Let me just take a screenshot. Looks like it was a stop. 0816, YM 15, entry and stop. Okay. Let's see what might happen here. I'd be willing to take this because it could be an overextended move. I'd be willing to take this here at this UFO. It's above the moving average, so it needs to be a little bit below because the climate is still intact. It aligns with the UFO. $35,000 even. What a nice round number. Okay, UFO is gone. Let's see what the ES is doing. Very similar scenario. The ES actually has a UFO right here. So I'm gonna take this at market. I can't. Okay, never mind. Sell limit. It was already moving below, that's why I couldn't. So selling the limit there for 49.25. We're good on everything across the board. Come on, really? We missed it by a couple of seconds. 2023, 08, 16, this is ES 15 minute setup. Okay, looks like it filled. We have a very tight stop here at 52. So our T1 is going to be somewhere there. All right. 52 minus 49.25, 275 minus 49.25, 46.5 is our T1 from our entry. T2, I didn't see anything here as well, so we're just going to trail stop it. Let me screenshot this. That is the entry. ES 15-minute entry. Okay, the UFO is gone. Just in case, I don't believe this will be the case, but let's go ahead and put a vertical here. This was our entry point. We have 1, 2, 3 that we have. 3 2-minute increments to make sure this goes to T1. Otherwise, we close it at market. I like to make this magenta so we know that that's our trigger point. Climate is still intact. We'll see if this will slide down from here or if it's going to start shooting up. Then we may have a changing climate coming up. All right, everybody still with me? I know, for somebody who might be looking at this for the first time, we're like, I was lost, 15 minutes ago, and that's okay. Half the battle is the fact that you showed up. Okay, the other half is spending the time in front of the charts, just looking at it and being immersed in it, and then asking questions. That's bottom line, the best way to learn anything. We just got a new UFO there. That's really good news for us. So for somebody who didn't get in, now is also a good time. I mean, it's let's put it this way: it's an allowable entry if you didn't get in when I got in, essentially. Whether you get in or not, that's entirely up to you guys. I just know that I have my magenta line here, and I need to pay attention to it. I have a feeling that we won't need it. It's either going to stop out or it's going to slide down to T1. Either one's going to happen. I don't think it'll be a time stop just because it's, it's the market open. It's the first 5 minutes of the day. Action takes place at those times. All right. In the meantime, I'm going to see why is it that I adjusted these. Okay, it looks like it was a stop. And we have a green UFO there. All right, 2023, 08, 16, ES 15-minute exit. All right, we may be seeing an update to the climate. Interestingly enough, it says current 0. Never seen that before. So right now we have 8 minutes to the update of the climate. Looks like it wants to go higher, the market. If that's the case, tech might be making a rebound. Let's take a look at tech. Yep, definitely is. Look at that. Look at that bar. Right? Oh, interesting. It just touched a UFO there. Man. So we would have just gotten in a trade if we were watching the NQ. Might have already been stopped out. I'm not quite sure. Let's watch this for a second. This may come crashing down and give us an opportunity to get in that market. Let's see. Note that we're taking 3 different equity markets in the same direction, essentially, 3 times in a row. It's almost never a good thing. But again, it's been a bit of a whipsaw. Odds are still in our favor for the downside, but markets seem to be pushing to the higher side. And our indicators in our software are saying that we need to go short. And we need to listen to what that says, not what our opinions say. Okay. You can definitely tell there's a lot of fighting going on here at this 15090 area. I think that was a green UFO that disappeared on the volume. All right, it looks like it's touching on higher time frames now. About 6 minutes. I was expecting it if it crashes right here, right where the 90 MA is, then we have a fairly good shot at this. Given that it broke through, it's almost a definite no. Trying to figure out why my market analyzer is misaligned with my charts here. Oh, it's because it's looking at only 50 bars back. That's why. I was like, how is that even possible? Over here, we're looking at, I believe it was, it's not 400. I believe we're looking at 320 bars to load, and my market analyzer is only looking at 50. That's why they were misaligned. So I'm gonna go ahead and update that real quick. I'm not sure why that's the case. Should be looking at everything the same. Fine. And we're peachy. All right. Okay. Markets are definitely teasing and going a little sideways right now. Pushed up, right? And then comes back to the 9 moving average. Whether that changes the climate in about 4 minutes from now and gives us an opportunity to go to the long side is yet to be determined. But as of right now, we're looking to short. And if we see a red UFO here, we're taking it to the short side of our market. Obviously, can't do it with these UFOs because they're above the moving average. But if this closes below the moving average, we may still have a confirmation of the climate and continuation. We'll see what happens. Let's take a look at the ES to see how it's behaving. All right, so the ES is definitely stronger than the NQ this morning. So I'm almost certain that we'll see an up climate happen here around this here in 3 minutes, and then we could potentially get in on this long here on a retrace movement down. That's only going to be usable if the retracement happens quick enough. If it doesn't happen quick enough, it's almost a guarantee then that the moving average is going to go up and up and up, and it'll be here in the white space where we do not have a UFO. As of right now, though, if this comes down slowly and to the extent that it doesn't just slide all the way down, we have a good chance on this UFO. If it comes crashing down, then probably the lower UFO. But nonetheless, we have this massive one here that is from 51.75 to 45. So we definitely have several areas where we can take this to the long side. So we got about 2 minutes. Any questions, comments, concerns, anything that you want to ask? Right here, I'm going to flash it. tradewithufos.com/Bojan. Feel free to ask any questions there. So ES is definitely the strongest of all of them. All right, crude is on the first out of 5. Let me look at crude real quick. Oof, so close. Okay, no, we have a trade. We have a trade right here. Oh, that is so close. Okay, we're in. Kind of a wide stop on this though. So we'll see how that's gonna play out. But we have we're in at, so we have 81.44 minus 81.15. That's 29. So our T1 needs to be at 80.86. And our T2, no UFO to be found, so it's going to be a trail stop. Let's go ahead and put this on here. Put our candle of entry as here. And we have 1, 2, 3 around there. Of course, adjust this. This is not easy to do because there's no way to make it a snap. And I moved it. Actually, okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. I am so sorry, guys. It looks like I somehow muted my mic. That's unfortunate. Mark, thank you for letting me know in the chat. That's always why it's so welcome to have it in the chat box. As I was saying, so the crude oil trade came and went. I don't know if you heard that part, because we had a change in the climate. So let me just re-explain that. I can't believe that happened. Right, we were shorting it, and we had a change in the climate. As soon as this new 50-minute bar opened, we actually were in a unconfirmed that then turned into an up climate, which means no matter where it is, where the trade is at, you have to close it at market. So you have to get out right away. And that's exactly what I did. And that's what our screenshot shows here, the CL exit. We closed it at market. All right. And here's the climate. Right. I could lie to you, somebody else could lie to you, but the screenshot should not. Price action was there, and we were on the wrong side. We get out. We don't try to prove a point to the crude oil markets. We were looking at the euro. We're looking at buying it there at 0.9310. To the long side. In the meantime, now that my market analyzer is fine, I'm actually going to just save my workspace because I already fixed this before and somehow it wasn't there. Save. As we see here, we've had quite a few changes in the climates. As you see, everything is 1 out of 6, 1 out of 6, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4. So let's also take a look at gold. Gold we didn't look at. Gold is an up climate. And let's change it to these. Looks like there's multiple opportunities here, although it looks like about 5 minutes ago the opportunity was there. I mean, this is not uncommon to see. Okay, this is not uncommon to see. You see a UFO gets generated right there. Price, with the move up, right? This UFO generated goes up, tests it down, and goes up. It's not uncommon to see this. Unfortunately, we just didn't have it open. And I mean, realistically speaking, when you're trading, and let's say you're doing focus trading of short-term trading in the morning, right? Realistically speaking, you probably should have multiple of these charts open on different screens, right? At the very minimum, I would say have the equities on one, crude and maybe natural gas on another, and then gold and the euro on another. So that you can kind of switch between them easily. This one, this way that we have it, the way it's set up right now is set mainly because, we can only stream on one screen. Right? So gold has a setup here that I'm going to put my limit there. Gold has a setup at 34.9. The catch is this UFO here. Your stop will need to be actually the same as at 33. Okay, so stop needs to be at 33. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this too. It's been an active morning. I like it. It's a lot better than watching paint dry, I'll tell you that. Doesn't, at least to me and to the experienced trader, this number means nothing. Right? This number right here, it doesn't bug me. When you get to the point where it doesn't bug you, it's fine, because guess what? There's going to be times where this will be twice the amount in the green, and you'll still be the same. You'll still be like, all right, well, I got another 15 minutes to go, and that's that for today. Looks like we may come close to filling on gold. I do want to make sure. So for our, I would say, the strictest of the rules in our plan says that we can't enter 2 trades at the same time, mainly because, people need to understand a correlation. So for example, if you're going long on the ES, on the NASDAQ, and let's say on, the Russell at the same time, right? 3 trades in the same time. If you're wrong, you're going to lose threefold. If you're right, you're obviously going to win threefold. But for a person who's just starting trading, if you lose threefold, that will, okay, looks like that. All right, so looks like both are going to fail. All right, I'm going to just close this for a second and add my ATM strategy. All right, we got filled on both the euro and the gold. I just want to, well, okay, I guess it's not going to fill me. I just want to make sure. So this stop is good. So the stop should also be, I'm sorry, the limit should be good too. All right, over here we do have an opposing UFO, as we see up here. So we have 109,760 to 109,830. So our T2 is going to be 109,760, which is just a couple of ticks above here. 760. We mark our candle of entry, which is wait, what happened here? Okay, that's fine. So our candle of entry, I believe, is this one here. I believe. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna make this as a magenta. All right, and then we're gonna go to gold because we got fill on that too. All right, and our candle of entry on gold is this one. We got fill a little later. So we got 1, 2, 3. Change that to magenta. Yeah, but why is the ATM strategy none again? I mean, I said it. That's a little frustrating. Yeah, that's just I mean, I know it was set, so I guess we'll just do it manually. So we have our entries at 34.9 minus 33. It's 1.9 points. So if it gets to 36.8, which is this UFO here, and we'll put a horizontal. 36.8 is our T1. Yeah, I'm gonna put that like that, solid. And then I'm gonna put a somewhere down here was at 33 even was our stop. This is a little unfortunate, but we have to do it just to keep track of it. So gold's moving in our direction, and I'm just gonna take a look and see here how we're doing on the euro position. Euro position is a little going against us a little bit, but nothing crazy. Gold's heading the right way. It just sucks that I'm gonna have to do this manually. But other than that, pretty fun session today, right? A lot of action. A lot of action beats anything, honestly. So that's that. Anybody have any questions, any comments? As I mentioned earlier, we're gonna we're going to be reviewing any of the questions that get asked on tradewithufos.com/win. I'm gonna flash that link right here again. That's here. And we're at the top of the hour. So thank you everybody that joined me. Hope you had a fun session, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye bye.